using firearms in accordance with Regulation 13 of LI 1571. What we've noticed is that people come forward to register private security organization. We grant them the permission, then they take individuals within their organization to register firearms as though they are using it for self-protection. Then they ended up using them for the organization.
With the gun amnesty period over, law enforcement agencies are expected to intensify intelligence and operations, including targeted searches and surveillance activities aimed at retrieving illicit firearms still in circulation. Authorities say additional measures have been implemented to strengthen border security and prevent the trafficking of illicit arms into the country. As part of the post-amnesty activities, over 2,000 seized surrounded firearms will be destroyed in a ceremony scheduled for July 9, 2026 at the police depot in Accra.
Now, the Bantama constituency chairman of the New Patriotic Party, Fifi Mensah, has accused the Member of Parliament for the area, Francis Asenso-Boakye, of attempting to manipulate the party's register ahead of the constituency executive elections. The allegations have heightened tensions among party executives and supporters in the constituency, raising concerns about unity within one of the MPP's traditional strongholds in the Ashanti region. Ibrahim Abubakar reports.
The New Patriotic Party has opened nomination for its constituency executive elections as part of effort to reorganize its grassroots structures ahead of future electoral contests. But in the Bantama constituency, the exercise has been overshadowed by allegations of attempt to manipulate the party's register. The constituency chairman, Fifi Mensah, claims some members have been removed from the register, whilst others have been added without following laid-down procedures.
Can you imagine an album that the constituency chairman, who is supposed to be leading the process, has been taken out of the process because of the MP? He has built his own group, running the whole show, and now they are taking people out. Somebody has been delegate for 16 years, 12 years. They are taking them out because of me. No, I don't understand. We must do a fair and clean up for peace to prevail in Bantama. Then we'll go for a peaceful election. The first vice, my vice, the contender, can put over 100 people in. And then I decide that, look, I want peace in Bantama. So be it as it may, I'm not going to fight anybody. But I bring only 19 people, and you people tell me you won't put them in. Because of what? They will vote for me? You have openly said you will campaign against me. I said, I don't care. Come and campaign. You are the former minister, you are the MP. Let everybody do his campaign fairly. We go for the election, whoever wins, wins. But when you want to manipulate the system, take people out because of me, I will disagree.
The allegations have, however, been strongly dismissed by some constituency executives who insist the process remains transparent and credible. They maintain that the Member of Parliament, Francis Asenso-Boakye, has not interfered with the compilation or validation of the constituency register.
The chairman says that we should fix his people inside. And he has about 19 people that are supposed to be fixed inside. The question now I'm asking is, how do you fix people in when there's an election? People went for election, won the election, and became delegates. So how do you take those who won the election out and fixing the 19 people? That is the problem that we are facing in Bantama. Honorable Asenso-Boakye has nothing to do with the elections going on in Bantama. I think that the unpopularity of the chairman is making him do the things that he's doing.
The public exchange has generated intense debate among party supporters, with many calling on the regional and national leadership of the MPP to intervene and resolve the dispute before it escalates further. Ibrahim Abubakar, TV3 News, Kumasi.
Now, from July 1, Ghanaians would get deeper to keep the light on and the taps running. Electricity tariffs will rise by 3.49%, while water will go up by 0.85%. Public Utilities Regulatory Commission, the PRC Executive Secretary, Dr. Shafiq Salam, says the adjustment has become necessary, driven largely by the prevailing exchange rate and rising power generation costs.
Since May 2025, utility tariffs have moved mostly upward. For electricity, A tariff of 100 cedis before the May 2025 adjustment would now be about 128 cedis, 70 pesos after the July 2026 increase. That is a cumulative rise of about 28.7%. For water, the same 100 cedis would now be about 117 cedis, 90 pesos. That is a cumulative increase of about 17.9%. The Public Utilities Regulatory Commission, PURC, says these adjustments are driven largely by the prevailing exchange rate and rising generation costs. PURC Executive Secretary Dr. Shafiq says the Commission considers the pressure on consumers, but some of the cost drivers are beyond its control.
So we are more sympathetic to the consumer than the utility service provider, because the issues that come on to be considered for the adjustment are tilted more to the disadvantage of the consumer, and we protect that interest to the highest level of standard if you are relating that to stability, reliability, and consistency of the flow, and then even the rate of adjustment or rate of increase. And but the most important thing I keep saying is the reliability, and balancing that with the cost. And as I can assure you, more effort is kept in the reliability, because the reliability and the stability are top priority, and then costs we are working on to ensure that it's not a burden to all of us.
He further adds that the adjustments will go a long way to address some long-standing challenges within the sector. Dr. Shafiq is urging Ghanaians to support the measures, saying they are necessary to help deliver a more stable power supply.
Now, Greater Accra Market Queens have thrown their support behind the Makola Market Redevelopment Project. Addressing the media after several meetings, the leadership of the Market Queens Association said the Assembly can proceed with the project.
Operating at the 31st December Makola Market, AMB in Accra staged a protest on Friday, May 15, and petitioned President Mahama over what they describe as plans by the Accra Metropolitan Assembly to relocate them from the market. The traders say the intended relocation exercise has created fear and uncertainty among hundreds of business owners and workers who depend on the market for their daily income and livelihood. According to the traders, the planned relocation by city authorities is being carried out without adequate consultation and, most importantly, without providing an alternative trading space before the exercise begins. Updating the media after weeks of engagement, President of the Greater Accra Market Association, Mercy Na Afowa Nijan, said allocations have been made for affected traders to pave way for the construction project.
What they are doing is about 1/10 of Makola, but even that 1/10, if they finish, can accommodate more than 50%. So why should he say we will not allow? We want development. Accra want development. Nobody will be sent away. They have been given 2 places, community center, Rollins Park, and the body say, why nobody stops you. But the place is there. The place is there, is waiting for them. Whoever is ready today, we can take them to the place.
She called on all traders to cooperate with the exercise to facilitate the construction and help upgrade the market.
This building is too old, over 100 years. Are we waiting for a disaster to happen before we say, oh, a building which is over 100 years, even over 100 years when somebody is using it. So what do we want? We want development.
The traders say they remain committed to dialogue and are hopeful that the ongoing engagement with authorities will ensure a smooth transition while safeguarding their businesses and livelihoods.
The Mayor of Cape Coast, George Justice Arthur, has led the demolition of dilapidated buildings in the city. The exercise forms part of measures to protect lives and property as the rainy season progresses. The move follows recent devastating flooding that led to the collapsing of some buildings in the metropolis and claimed 4 lives. In a statement, the Cape Coast Metropolitan Assembly expressed its commitment to addressing the root causes of floods in the metropolis. Some more here, and a newly constructed 60-meter span bridge over the river Wen at Apremdo on the under construction Takoradi Agona Nkwanta dual carriageway faces the risk of constructural failure due to gross unauthorized development. One of the bridge's 3 major spans has been completely backfilled and converted into a car washing bay. Irama Smith has the rest of the story.
The newly constructed Apremdo Bridge is one of 3 major bridges under construction Takoradi Agona Nkwanta dual carriageway being developed under government's Big Push program. Unlike the old bridge, the new structure features 3 wide spans designed to efficiently convey flood waters from the River Wen. The construction of a bridge with sufficient hydraulic capacity to reduce flooding in surrounding communities, which is highly susceptible to inundation, comes as good news to the people. However, these gains risk being undermined. One of the major spans intended to carry significant volumes of river flow has been backfilled and developed into a car washing bay. As a result, the waterway beneath the bridge has been narrowed, while signs of erosion are already emerging around some of the bridge piers. The Chief Executive Officer of Justmore Construction Limited, Justice Amor, is concerned not only about the structural integrity of the bridge, but also about complaints from residents regarding backflow effects that are causing flooding upstream.
One major span is totally blocked. So, if you then it's reversing. Now, it creates flooding or other places. And yeah, there I was saying, Yesu so cry, Sebi way bridge as several the highway Takoradi Agona dual carriage. Inti ya overshare ya erosion has started ADD PS no. Inti ube wana fe akwa affected bridge na ankasa PS no so aye week na a collapse.
The Ghana Highway Authority's consultant on the Takoradi Agona Nkwanta Road project, Ajay Frimpong, called on the Ahanta West Municipal Assembly and the National Disaster Management Organization (NADMO) to take immediate action to remove the unauthorized structures and restore the river's natural channel. According to him, swift intervention is necessary to avert a potential disaster and safeguard the newly constructed bridge.
We are appealing to the Assembly to come and do the needful. Otherwise, very soon, if you have 2 continuous rains, there will be, serious, flooding at the upstream section of the river.
Irama Smith, TV3 News, Western Region.
Now, the legacy of former President Jerry John Rawlings has once again been eulogized for his role in stabilizing the economy and pioneering the Fourth Republic. But as tribute poured in, speakers used the occasion to warn against a return to what they described as failed leadership and urged the party to remain committed to Rawlings's ideals of accountability, justice and national development.
The leadership of the governing NDC and the J.J. Rawlings Foundation held 2 events on Monday, June 22, to commemorate the late former head of state and founder of the party, Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings. The event highlighted Rawlings' commitment to national integration, unity, social development, probity, accountability, and social justice. Speakers at the lecture reflected on his journey from leading a revolution during a period of national uncertainty to overseeing Ghana's transition into democratic governance. Renowned lawyer Chatuchi Kata urged current and future government not to return the country to what he described as the dangerous era of the Kufuor Bawumia administration.
There is a danger, especially after what the country went through in the disastrous 2017 to 2024 period under President Akufo-Addo and Vice President Bawumia. There is a danger that we lower the bar of what the nation expects of us in the NDC, and that we aim to be just a little better than the previous government. The decisive rejection of the NPP in the December 2024 elections, both in the presidential and the parliamentary elections, that is decisive proof that the ideals for which the NDC was founded and which we still hold dear, these ideals matter to the people of Ghana.
He also praised the late NDC founder for his contribution to Ghana's development. Board chair of Ghana Gas, Kofi Totobi Kwachi, who served as a minister under the Rawlings administration, said the NDC was not established for personal gain, urging members to uphold the values and principles of the party.
Those of us who lived through the turbulence of those years know what the revolution demanded. It demanded a willingness to confront moral decay, arrogance, impunity, and the dangerous belief that public office was the private property of a privileged few. Not every action of those years was perfect. No honest participant in that history can make such a claim. But the essential lesson of the revolution was clear, that Ghana must belong to the many.
Local governance experts, Akwesi Oponfosu, defended the June 4th uprising led by Jerry John Rawlings, saying current NDC members must take responsibility and ensure the ideas associated with Rawlings reflect in their actions.
46 years on, the revolution is asking a serious question. Did we eradicate impunity, or did impunity just change clothes? We recall an extreme situation that resulted in the collapse of the economy and public trust in leadership. When you ignore root causes, symptoms return. We condemned the methods of the revolution, but we were never willing to address what created it in our national conversations.
The event, attended by Vice President Professor Jenano Pokwajiman, Chief of the Asogli Traditional Area, Thogbe Aped the 14th, as well as government officials, themed From Revolution to Fourth Republic, the legacy of J.J. Rawlings. Stanley Niblew, TV3 News, Accra.
And that's all for News Morning here on New Day on TV3. My name is Beatrice Elu. Thank you very much for joining us on the program. Do continue with us on New Day.
Everybody.
Yes.
Gideon Mensah, John Mensah.
Yes.
Listen, all Edina endorse. Listen.
Mrs.
So no, I'm coming.
You have today.
Yeah, you can call me Mrs. Langabell today. Listen, so before we got into the game, Ghana had only 10% chance of winning against 78%, 76.
Yes, it was 76%.
On the English side.
Yeah.
Now, by the time we were done, 30% ball possession versus 58%.
Yeah.
2 attempts, goal attempts versus 19 on the English side.
Yes.
Not here, this one, no. Only 131 passes from Ghana against 591. Hurricane no seat up.
Yes.
Jude Bellingham no seat up. Bukayo Sayo
Bellingham
no
was
seat up.
fighting with John Painter.
Listen, in
in
my entire adult life, I've never seen Hurricane this frustrated before. And I said it yesterday after the first half. I'm like, listen, this is the spirit of the Black Star we are talking about.
Yeah.
If these boys had given us like a teeny weeny bit of this performance, like from our 5 games ago, I don't think I would have been wavering in our faith the way we were before yesterday. But hats off to all.
Wow.
No. Appreciation to all the Ghana Black Stars.
They have to send it to the US.
No. I'm going to the US. I'm very serious about it. Yes, at this point, I am.
Express flight.
Oh, you can't even tell from my voice that I haven't slept. Yeah, Mendaye. No, but you know how passionate I am about football and about the Black Stars.
What's your percentage of shares in the Black Stars? Because the that you have
I said now 58%. No, 58%. I said now 50. Charlie, no, but yesterday was amazing. The boys did us proud.
Yes.
And you know, it's even a worse result, even though it's a better result for us.
Yeah.
The results for England is really very bad. I was listening to Hurricane after the match when he was interviewed and asked about what happened. And then he said something that ticked me off a little bit.
Yeah.
He was like, if you're playing against a side who really do not want to score, but they just want to draw and they want to waste their time. With that frustration. that Ghana was a very competitive side, and the game was really physical. But can we talk about those 2 penalties that were robbed of, especially that very last one? What was the name of the player? There was another. Was it Thomas Partey? No, it wasn't Thomas Partey. The one that he was pushed down. I'll remember very soon. But I think we were robbed. That Painsil. Yes, Painsil. Yes, okay. It was Painsil. Okay. I think we were robbed, and I think our boys should have protested more and pushed. But then again, I think about it, and I said, if we had protested, pushed, and were given the chance to go and score,
that
would have also. It would have It would have erased all the joy and the victory that we are feeling. Even though we would have felt victorious, I mean that's where the attention would have gone.
And the protestation would have also been a distraction somewhere.
Yeah, it would have been. For me, Semenyo tried though. He protested a little bit, but he just let it go.
But I also think that we missed one chance that we clearly had. There was one player. I'm still getting to know their names.
Right.
But the ball was passed to him. He literally had to hit the ball.
Was it Senaya?
I think it was Senaya. I think so. That was
short hair.
Like the final, yes.
Like a blondie type of hair, but short.
But there was a last part where the ball was, sent to him. And I was listening to the commentators. They said it was probably how he stopped the ball when it got to him. So he probably hit it the wrong way. So there was not enough time. But I was sitting there, I was like, did
you guys see on social media someone who had sent a voice note to Hurricane? And it was in Chi and it was in Ga, and he was warning him, okay, Benjamin Asari, Joe to Penny. What does that mean? So, yes. So those your long shots and your long crosses, don't come and attempt it here. This guy has been training in Ghana for a long time, and he's not your mate. And he was showing, Hurricane what to do. And then Nick, when I can cook, but I know Did you hear
the comment from on Sakura Park?
That's where Benjamin Asari.
One of the favorite parts of the game again was seeing the frustration on Hurricane's face. And the other ones and the expressions, even from the spectators. There was this little boy who did.
I saw that, and it was slow motion as well. You could tell he was so frustrated about.
No, they didn't express it.
And there's a photo of when Hurricane missed the ball. He hit it and it went into the sky. He just fell to the ground. And we had about 5 of our boys around him. So it looked like we had really marked him. There was no way he was going to penetrate.
Yesterday,
anyway.
Listen, we didn't give them any gaba at all. Kudos to all the boys. Yesterday, I won't take one single person out who did not perform. Everyone was top notch. And we congratulate you this morning on a good job that you have done. But let's talk about Andre. I always say Jordan Ayew's injury. Looking back into history though, Shadrach, yes, I sent you some photos. It looks like the head injury runs in the family. Yes, I will be showing you some photos this morning. Kudos to, let me give credit to whom credit is due. I think we saw that on Ajize's post on Instagram. So the headband, the bandage, the Dada Pele went through it. Andre Dede Ayew went through it. And then yesterday, Jordan Ayew as well. We'll be showing you the photos in no time. That's just on a lighter side though. But yes,
I hope these boys.
I think Venture was also injured.
And yes, Caleb, his eye. Yes, yesterday's game was very physical. Very, very physical.
At a point I said, no, you must be a very strong person to play football. When they were being pushed and falling on the ground, I was like,
you must be. That's it. So
but there's one that has the 3 of them.
Yeah, so I sent all 3. I sent all 3. So this one was from yesterday, and then you would see another one of Andre Ayew, and then that's of the legendary Abedi Pele as well. You see it.
I just hope it's not a very serious injury because that impact.
So it was really bad.
Even me, I felt it at home. I didn't know how.
He kept playing. I was concerned.
It took a while. They were down for a while because the English player as well was in pain. Even in pain as well. But these are some of the things that they go through.
It's not easy to play football.
It's not a joke.
So this is Abedi Pele back in the day when he had his head injury.
How did we miss Abedi Pele's time?
I know,
I
right?
wish I had gotten the chance to experience
we were kids. We were little kids. So that's the maestro Abedi Pele. And then fast forward 2 years later, Andre Ayew also had a share on the pitch. I don't know if this was 2010 or 2014. I cannot remember, or maybe one of our games, but I cannot remember. And then Andre Ayew got his fair share. No, Jordan Ayew. I always say Andre Ayew.
I also mix it up a lot.
Jordan Ayew had his fair share yesterday, but like you're saying, Bella, we do hope that he feels better soon. And then Caleb, and then Senaya, his waist, that was Charlie.
It was very, so I was expecting a number of yellow cards.
I know.
They only gave one.
The pencil penalty should have been a yellow card as well, but it looks like the thing now they were not favoring us.
I mean, this referee. Oh, it doesn't matter. God was on our side.
He was on our side.
Was on our side.
The powder.
So and I saw a very interesting. I think I screenshot a number of tweets from Thierry Henry as well when he was speaking on this matter. Let me just see if I can quickly pull that up as well. Because a lot of them were actually very impressed with the game that we played yesterday. I'll pull it up, Cookie, if you have something
because there
to
were
read.
a lot of substitutions as well from the side of England, and at the point I was like, hey.
They were bringing their men.
Yes,
see, yesterday I said it that the whole world thought that England was coming with a team.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it didn't look like we were coming with a team, but we came with the Black Star spirit, and that's what fought for us yesterday. My daddy is watching this morning. Says, you ladies are blazing this morning. Shout out. He says, shout out to all of you. Indeed, the boys were super yesterday. Good morning, New Day team. Looking good in the jersey. Daddy, thank you. Mami share my Black Stars, no. Mami share my Black Stars, no. And Roland will say, Mama, me closer. Rolly, good morning to you. I'm sure you're very elated and watching us this morning. All the best, all the best, all the best.
So this is what Zidane said. He says that I think some people expected England to walk onto the pitch and score 3 or 4 goals automatically.
Yeah.
That's not how football works, especially as a World Cup. What surprised me was not the result itself, but how uncomfortable England looked in the final third. There were plenty of possession, but not enough conviction when it mattered the most. You also have to give Ghana enormous credit. They came into the match with a well-organized defense, discipline, and absolutely no fear. They defended as a unit, stayed compact, and never allowed England to play with complete freedom. They looked like a team that fully believed in its game plan. England controlled large parts of the ball, but possession means very little if you are not consistently testing the goalkeeper. Ghana remained focused, patient, and ready to compete for every moment of the match. Thierry Henry also put up something as well. I'll find that one later.
Yeah, I love
but they all use, just kept saying the same thing.
I love the use of the word patience because when the head coach for the England team, Thomas Tuchel was interviewed, he said that at the moment what they needed was patience. But it looks like our side rather had that with the analysis.
So Thierry also referenced Kweku Bonsam's apparent
Kweku Bonsam is trending everywhere.
I read about that Ghana traditional priest Nana Kweku Bonsam who said he's working on Harry Kane. To be honest, it seems voodoo now works in football. If you look at how England performed today, their defense was solid. Ricky James, Konsa, he mentioned a number of them. He said they were awesome. But going to the attack, Noni Madueke was poor. Likewise, Jude Bellingham and mostly Harry Kane. Thomas Tuchel tried everything he could tactically to win the game, but it didn't change anything. He subbed on Bukayo Saka and Eberechi Eze, yet they couldn't score. I never took that priest serious in the first place, but after watching England today, I would say he had a spiritual impact on the match today.
It wasn't just their game. It just wasn't their game.
It just wasn't their game.
It was, and the powder guy too was there. I've seen a lot of pictures as well.
Oh, yesterday he was there as well.
I've seen more pictures of him blowing the powder. Yes. This time he wore that red, traditional outfit that you wear for war. I think from the Ashanti region as well. So it looks like, and ESPN has posted it, and they put the eyes there. They are wondering, okay, what's going on with our Ghana team? Please, it's not voodoo. It's just God on our side. These are just, things that we put on the side anyway. But we have a lot to talk about on the show this morning. In fact, on this morning, we'll be speaking to a sports journalist that a lot of you really revere, and we'll be sharing his thoughts on the game. But after that, we'll get into the main conversation, big issue. Yesterday, the Interior Minister organized a press conference where he indicated that all licenses for firearms in this country have been revoked. And so if you went through the right process or not, your license has been revoked as it stands now, and you have 3 months to now go through the process to get it re-registered and licensed to you again. And that would include mental health checks, training for the firearm usage as well, and a number of things. So we'll be speaking on that. And of course, utility tariffs are expected to go up as well. So we'll be getting into that conversation.
That's one day we are not ready.
Well,
that one
the
we are not
1st
ready.
of July.
Are we ever ready?
They just 0 points, I think 8 something for water
Yeah.
and 3.49, right? For electricity. But honestly, when I saw the press conference from the Interior Minister yesterday, it just reminded me of, I think we had this conversation on Monday, and the conversation you had with the small arms a person. My interest was in the question about the monitoring. Yes.
Well, monitoring as well, yes.
So yesterday after the press conference, I was asking myself, did it have to take this Kantanka issue for us to now begin to review, revoke licenses? If we're doing consistent monitoring, would we even get here? But yes, perhaps you could say that it's a direction, I mean, a decision in a good direction, but again,
we didn't have to wait.
We didn't have to wait this long,
especially when we are put out constantly. You know, statistics indicating that some 1.2 million people were not re-registering their firearms or re-licensing it as well.
And the
it was
legal
only about
weapons we have in our system,
who would come every year to, you know, get it registered all over again. So. Well, I guess that maybe to some extent, maybe this is a step in the right direction.
I hope.
But it will cause a lot of havoc because if I've already registered and you have one whole year for your registration
Somebody's
process
sin is just affecting everybody else.
Now I have to go through the process again. The minister says you may not have to pay for the whole re-registration, but you might have to pay for the mental health checks, for the training, etc. But even that, I mean, people are wondering, is there going to be bureaucracy at this point? Because if I know someone, I probably would want to use that channel to get it done quickly.
Exactly.
How much do I have to pay? Do I even have the money to pay? But if you can own a gun in this country and have a license for it, then I guess you should be ready to pay some.
But I think that it just reminds me, perhaps I should use the opportunity to call for subsidy or a certain kind of system for mental health, because you pay fully for mental health. Yes.
Unfortunately.
I hope there will be another system where we would also get into the communities to collect all these loose guns that we have that are unregistered, especially. That's what my mind is telling me. That what
why
is
they brought the amnesty? You remember they brought the amnesty, they extended it. I think it was supposed to have been end of December 2025. They extended it to January. And after that, they've said that if you didn't voluntarily give it out, and you are found to be holding arms without registration, then you
be on the wrong side.
But if I brought it in illegally, do you honestly think that's how I'd want to
see?
win?
No, exactly.
If you're caught.
No, I'm just saying that for these people who brought, because we're getting a lot of arms that are coming into the country illegally. What's the guarantee that if you go and surrender, they will now ask you, how did this gun get into the country?
Well,
you know, all those questions.
Sometimes
probably why some of them
don't want to blow the cover of the entire team.
When we get into the big issue, when we get into the big issue, now we need to go and talk. Exactly. Sports journalist Graham is on the other side waiting for us. So let's take a breather. We'll be right back with TV3 Newday's This Morning segment.
Congratulations on your start. I mean, when you heard that you're going to start your first ever World Cup game, what did it mean to you? Wait till I make English.
To me, it's like the way you are saying. I'm so impressed with my personal self, and I think that is my job, because once it's my job, I must prove at any time when I'm in the field of play. So I thank Almighty God and the support the Ghana people and my fans and the Shatter movement, every people, those who love me, those who support me with everything. I just pray for them that everything makes successful.
Tell us about the penalty incident. It was on the other end, but have you guys talked about it, whether or not Prince should have had a penalty?
It's the referee decision, because as a field of play, we don't have anything to say. All it's about, we must get concentration in the field of play and just continue in the match.
Now, Harry Kane, the best goal scorer out of Europe this season, you've managed to keep a clean sheet against him. He had one shot on target in the whole game. You saved that. Tell me about what it was like coming up against the conversation. Like, what did you guys talk about? Yeah.
It's normal. To me, personal self, I think it's normal, because once I'm a footballer,
it's normal, yeah.
It's normal, because even if the top goalkeeper self, they consider a goal. They score them. So how much me they cannot score me? They can score me, but I want to prove in myself, or I want to prove to people to see that is my job, so I can do it. So I'm so impressed that God let me get this point to the Ghana people.
Tell us about
support.
what it was like in the dressing room after the victory. What did
Exactly.
the coach say? Who came to talk to you?
Maximum, most of them, because they know myself, they know that I can do it. That was SM for life.
Yes.
That's my life, because I do it for my life.
Yes.
And I thank Almighty God that He has answered my prayers and everything makes successful.
The first time you started a World Cup match, SM for life, how was that?
Them for life indeed. Welcome back to this morning's segment. We're about to have a conversation with sports journalists and of course our commentator here for the GPL, Benjamin Willie Graham. Good to see you.
It's a pleasure to always be here.
And first question I would ask you, your impressions so far.
I think it was a very good game. We went into the competition obviously looking at playing our heart out. There's a World Cup that you have to realize that number one, Ghana, in terms of ranking of the 10 African teams that are currently at the World Cup, we were the lowest ranked side among the 10 African teams.
Right.
And again, at the group stage itself, the group that we found ourselves, we were the lowest ranked team in that group of England, Croatia, Panama. We were the lowest ranked side. So nobody really expected us to do better, especially those who felt it was relatively 71 days or less for the coach to be with the team. So I understand when people feel that we're not going to do better.
I was watching Super Sports yesterday, and the stats they put out before the beginning of the game was that Ghana had only a 10% chance of winning the game, and versus England, 76%. Were those stats correct?
Absolutely, because you're talking about a team that won 4-2 against Croatia. You're talking about a team that played against Panama, that possession, while Panamanians had a lot of possession against Ghana. So if you're looking at that performance, definitely you'll be judging that Ghana was going to melt down against England, but that was not to be. And it clearly tells you that you had a team where the coach did his job.
Right.
The experience of Carlos Courage obviously is playing a huge role for Ghana at the World Cup. Remember, he's assistant coach to Alex Ferguson at Man United. He's been to Real Madrid. He's coached Portugal. He's coached Iran at the World Cup. And so he's got that experience at the World Cup to tell you that even if I don't have the A-listed players, I still can grant the results. It depends on how disciplined the players are.
Let's get deeper into what happened yesterday. Well, so far at the World Cup, 2 games for Ghana. We gave Panama a very tough time, okay? And I think yesterday, if you ask me as a layperson, I'm not a sports journalist, but if you ask me as a layperson, we stopped England. Is this Carlos Queiroz' way of packaging the Black Stars as the surprise package for the FIFA 2026 World Cup?
Absolutely. First of all, you're talking about a side that had injuries to Kudus Mohammed. You're talking about a team that had injuries to Salisu and Jiku. Those are pretty much experienced in the game. And you are bringing on board certain players who are making their debut at the World Cup. Senaya, the right full back, is making his debut for the Black Stars. You're also talking about Prince Edu Kwabena also making his debut. You're also dealing with Jeremy Opoku and the rest. Then you have a centre backs who are playing for the first time, and playing for the first time at the highest stage. You're talking Jeremy Opoku and also dealing with Jonas Ajete. And the amount of energy they put into the game, it tells you that the coach is cooking a very, very... a lot of men to do the Kudusi style of play where you hold on to the ball, you have to drag in 2 or 3 players. But you have to be organized, compact. And that's what the English team, some of the fans are saying, we were more organized and compact. And that's what frustrated them. We didn't go attacking, but we went all attacking or defending. Sometimes you do see Naki Williams defending corner kicks. We do see Jordan also defending corner kicks. It means that nobody's sitting down, you have to do the work. And I think that worked perfectly for us.
Okay, so you would agree to the saying that a lot of football matches are won in the midfield. You would agree to that. And you would also agree to the fact that Ghana yesterday disrupted England.
Yes, we did in a sense that, they found their mojo against Croatia, perhaps in the second half. And that because, this is not a typical English team that you feel that we're going to dismantle any opposition. Against Croatia, they had to play tough. In the second half, I don't know what happened to the Croatians. They just, melted down, and then obviously the English team took advantage. So coming against Ghana, the idea was to play the wings. Madueke, for instance, how fast he is on the ball. And then you have, Gordon also doing his job at the right side. But what happened was that you have Senaya, who didn't really give them any space at all to move. You had Gideon Mensah, who also stayed. Then you also had Inaki Williams and Semenyo also join the midfield to stop the runs of the Maduekes and Gordons there. So what did disrupt the English side was that we were not ready to open up the game.
Right.
We were ready to stay organized and compact and frustrate them. You mentioned early on, Harry Kane was frustrated. Everybody was frustrated because they were just looking for the spaces, and we were not giving them those spaces.
Right.
So what was actually becoming more of a problem for us when they were whipping the balls into the 18-yard box, and remember, a couple of balls hit the goal post and the rest. And so that, for me, was a frustration. They were looking to move through the middle. A couple of times they had the opportunity because we gave them certain spaces. But when we realized that we needed to close the gaps, that was where they felt vulnerable.
I'm going to take you back into history this morning. And when we played the Panama match, I remember the first half, most of us were really upset because the performance was very abysmal, especially for the first half. Second half, things improved a little bit and gave us a little hope. Yesterday, many and millions of people across the world did not really have the hope in the Black Stars. But it looks like the Stars would always rise to the occasion when expectations are lowest. I'll take you to Germany 2006, South Africa in 2010, Brazil 2014, despite the challenges that we had. Now, yesterday, would you say we responded in the same manner according to history?
And that's when I said that if you were to look at the team on paper, you certainly would be hoping that we're going to get out early against even Panama. For us to even celebrate against Panama, I felt like it was not appropriate in the sense that it was a team ordinarily Ghana is expected to win against Panama. But because of the team that we currently have paraded, we're not sure whether we're going to win or otherwise. Because the coach just walked in, the first game played was against Wales. So we were not too sure whether we're going to get the results. But the thing about Ghana is a bit interesting in the sense that you mentioned all the World Cups that we've been to. And against, Italy that we lost in 2006, the top-ranked side that we played, that we beat 2-0, was Czech Republic. They were ranked higher than us, I think the fifth in the world at the time. But we beat them 2-0 and then went ahead to qualify. And then if you take a look at 2010 as well, we had our first game against Serbia, again top-ranked. We beat them. We went ahead to draw with Australia, and then obviously we lost to Germany, but they had to qualify. So when the odds are certainly against us, the players needed to come up. And why? Because the players were fired up based on the treatment they felt that the Ghana team was being given by, again, the English press and some people, especially the Partey incident. The players were really pissed off. That it felt like we were isolating Partey and making him look like a bad boy in the team. And again, it was more of a psychological game they were playing against us. There was one player in the English team that did not greet Partey.
Exactly, I saw him. I saw him refrain from saying hello.
And again, he's like a black person, so I'm surprised he did
that. How though? How so though? You're also a black person.
Absolutely. I mean, Harry Kane wasn't shaking. Everybody was just doing the shaking, but I'm surprised he did what he did.
Wow.
But it clearly tells you that it was a mind game to actually get the players off. But what the players did was to stay together. And I need to give credit to the coach. Again, his experience in terms of statements he made. He said they've got 3 lions, but we've got 33 million lions. And that was a statement from the coach, Carlos Cruz, to tell the players that they say they have 3 lions. Don't worry about that. How many do we have? 33 million. And that is what played out for us against them.
I watched closely yesterday when we were emerging from the tunnel for the second half. And clearly, Jordan Ayew told the team that be strong in your mind. That's what he told the team. Would you say, because even though this is a draw, it feels more like a win for Ghana. Would you say that our mentality that we took into the game is what's giving us this victory?
You know, we've been to 2 World Cups where we've exited at the group stages. And this is the Open World Cup, 48 teams qualifying. So the round of 32 is the first thing that's happening. So if you do not get the chance to qualify, obviously it's sort of a very big dent on our image at the World Cup. The team needed to stay focused to also qualify. And I've got some friends in Nigeria on TikTok who felt that we're not going to really move in. But it was very important for the team to have realized that this is not your vintage Black Stars team. Let's face facts. This is not it.
It's not.
This is more like a makeshift Black Stars team. But everybody is putting in the best. And you also have to give credit to the coach that his substitutions are always spot on. Why? Because we've got players. We've got speed. Isha Hauku's got that. Remember, he started that yesterday. You have Prince Edu Kobna, who nearly got at a penalty against. We didn't get that. You've got Inakula Semenyo. All of them have got pace. So anytime he realizes that the position is getting a little bit tired, that is when he releases his speed sets to come to the game. So us qualifying to the next stage was very important. Now, this is what is even interesting. You've got England with 4 points, Ghana with 4 points. You've got Croatia with 3 points. The group is wide open.
And yesterday, Croatia also scored.
Yeah, I mean, Panama would always, deceive, but they would always get beaten. So 4-4-3. What it means is that the last game is a must-win for
it's crucial
Croatia.
For us.
it's a must-win for Croatia to qualify.
Right.
They want to come in. We need a draw to qualify, absolutely, but they will come in with all the energy to win that game. For England and Panama, they also need a win to cement their place in terms of qualification.
Right.
So it's tough for us in the last game, though. But from what I see in the Croatian side, with this game we're playing, I think we do have a chance against them.
Right.
But we shouldn't go into the game with the mentality that a draw will take us through. But we just have to go and win.
Right.
So at least we have 7 points, and then England also have 7 points, and we qualified both together. But for me, we just need to go into the game not thinking of the draw, but rather win.
Before we get into other nitty-gritties, let's just talk about this one and get it out of the way. Mentally, the boys were under pressure, especially when we're going to Canada, and then Thomas Partey could not make it. Now, even if you didn't know about the Thomas Partey issue, now you know about it because it was all over. The English press, oh my God, they were really pressing our necks.
I think we didn't, first of all, we failed to do something right.
Okay.
Why? And I always say that in PR, you'd always have to anticipate the problem and deal with it. We knew from the Wales game that the English team were going to come at us with the Partey incident. We knew from that game as well that they had made up their mind they were going to have issues with Partey on the field of play. What did we do to mitigate that?
Right.
We, at the point, I felt we left him alone to be dragged by everybody in the case. Remember, there's even an issue with Hakimi of the Moroccan side, also with certain rape issues hanging on his neck.
Right.
But that is not being talked about than the Partey incident because of how we felt. Because if Morocco should qualify, possibility of them playing in Canada is also high. So if that, and again, the French prosecutors, before their game against Scotland, then they released a statement and said that now he's going to go and face the trial. But that issue was just spoken of one day, and that was the end of the story.
Right.
But for Thomas Partey, we kept dragging without necessarily looking at how we're going to mitigate or leaving it out there by dealing with it in the first place. So that was one of the things we failed to do. And I felt that now that we've played the English game and everybody's talking about it, nobody's talking about the Partey incident, I'm good about it. And so we are good to go. I feel we need to always find a way to protect the players by way of ensuring that this press will come asking all unnecessary questions.
Yes.
We need to, sift through those that will come in only interested in the negative aspect and shut it down. Because at certain times when somebody asks a question, you can say, I'm not answering that question, and that's it.
Right.
And we need to be firm on those things. Other than that, some questions will be coming in. If you don't get the right answers, that becomes as news and become nuisance to the team because then everybody's going to pay attention to that.
Let's shift our attention a little bit to Carlos Queiroz. Now, this guy just had a few weeks to be with the Stars. I will not even say to prepare because there was no time to prepare at all. But yesterday after the game, the Black Stars now appear to be more structured, more disciplined tactically, harder to break down, better positioned off the ball. Would you say in the last 5 weeks, the influence that Carlos Queiroz has on the team is working or is beginning to be visible?
I made mention of his experience.
Okay.
And I made mention of the fact that, yes, he walked in a few weeks to the World Cup, a few months to the World Cup. But what he's done, remember there was a story about him, watching clips or tapes of the players.
Right.
He working on certain players individually, about 200 of them, and deciding which of the picks he wants to go to the World Cup with. And most of the players have really gone to work to understand the coach. And that is the experience I said he brings on board. We are more defensive inclined, yes, and that is how we've played. Look at the World Cups we played, except the 2006 World Cup, for instance.
In Germany.
The 2010 World Cup. We're not scoring too many goals, but we progressed in the next stage, and then we nearly got to semi-finals.
A country of ways and means.
It was like one goal project.
Right.
But we always get it done. And so we are not scoring many goals, but we're getting the results. And he said something that, listen, at the World Cup, every point matters. You need to celebrate every point. If you get 3 points, you're good to go. If you get a point, you're good to go. So the most important thing is that get the results. Even if it's one goal you score and you're able to keep the 3 points, that's it. So he is playing it safer and very cautiously in the sense that I know I don't have the out-and-out strikers in my team. But what I need to do is to organize the team at the base, get the foundation. Because as soon as you know that Ishaku takes off, you know certainly Prince Kobna Edu can do something. You know that Semenyo can score when the ball is in the 18-yard box of the position. So all you need to do is to make sure you organize your team at the base. And once the organization is done right, you're good to go. Yesterday, everybody was throwing the body to protect the ball from hitting the back of the net. Everybody.
Everybody.
From Inaki Williams to Jordan to Jonas Ajay, everybody was blocking the balls.
Yes.
And you also particularly excited to have a very stable goalkeeper in Asari.
We'll be talking about Benjamin Asari.
Yeah, I mean, his organization at the back was fantastic. So for me, I think...
Whilst you've mentioned it, let's just talk about Benjamin Asari. First time ever outside the country, internationally, and even at the World Cup. But gentleman was super focused. He was unshaking, and he was unflinching. Would you say his years of training here in Ghana prepared him for the bigger international stage?
It adds the question.
Right.
There's something good about the local league. He's the first goalkeeper locally from the local Ghana league to be at the World Cup and be in post.
Right.
Go back to history. We had local goalkeepers who were in post, and then when we got to World Cup, we brought an experience, Richard Kinston from outside to come and keep the post for so many years. So it tells you that there's something good home that we can actually harness and take advantage of. And I was a little bit disappointed when people said that no, he shouldn't be in post and then we should have Atizigi in post. And like, he kept the post for us to qualify for the World Cup. Why would we want to put him on the bench? But after Atizigi's injury and he came on in the second half against Panama, he's been the Benjamin Asari I've known. Very, very, very disciplined, very organized. The centre backs, they do have, and if you look at the game pretty well, and after the game, you realize a lot of them go back to him to congratulate him. He's got that knack to make sure he organizes his back well. And I think we need to give credence to the goalkeepers coach from Accra Hearts of Oak down to national team. They've done an amazing job.
And we are all super proud of Benjamin Asari. And yesterday I posted about him and I said, I'm praying that clubs around the world, good clubs around the world, will give him a call-up after
he's going.
He's going, right?
He's already going.
You don't think his age would affect him in any way?
You remember the Cavalian coach?
He's 40.
Yeah. They say the goalkeepers become better when they age.
They age.
Yeah, because so it's okay.
And Benjamin Asari is a typical example.
Obviously, and I think I'm excited for him. You could see the players around him are excited. You know, it's not easy to come from the league, then be number one at the World Cup. It's not easy.
Congratulations to him.
And then we are grateful.
Congratulations to him. We'll be talking about Croatia, Ghana in no time. But yesterday, also on the blocks, I realized that Arsenal's top player, Declan Rice, even though he gave us a hard time and had a yellow card, approached Partey, gave him a hug. They were in a little conversation and all of that. And that's why I would even think, what's the name of the English player who did not shake Partey's hands again? We've got a video. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at that comeback, because it from a white player, but from a black player, it didn't even make sense. But the coach spoke about it. Let's take a look.
Look, let me answer this. It did not happen, and as we saw, even the comments of Thomas, my comments from English team, English boys, our players, we refuse to be part of people that try to bring dust and politics inside the game. We fight to keep the four lines sacred. It's difficult sometimes, but it happens. So we have to congratulate everybody that was in the game to leave politics and everything that is dirty outside of.
Yeah, so that's what Carlos Queiroz had to say about it. But it was really beautiful to see Declan Rice go out to him, give him a hug, you know, some few words of encouragement and all that, because they were in Arsenal together before Thomas Partey moved. I don't remember seeing Saka do that, but I don't think in my wildest imagination that Saka will see Thomas Partey and just move past here. Maybe the cameras didn't quite catch that, but I don't think. I mean, Saka is a Nigerian boy. I mean, we are brothers now. Yeah, Madueke. Yeah, we get it. Anyway, so there's been a lot of talk about yesterday's match, a lot of disappointment on the English side, and the English press have been reacting to yesterday's match. Let's take a look. All right, so this is the very first one on your screens this morning, and we are Ghana. We are Ghana, have to do it the hard way once again. And you can see there was a meltdown. And then another one that says, which one is this one saying? I can't even read it from here. But obviously, that's a visibly frustrated striker on the English side, Harry Kane, who was expected to do a whole lot for the English side, but Endra so. And then do we have more before I come to Willie Graham for his comments on the press and what they have been saying? I think, okay, so there's another one here. Don't worry about a thing because every little thing is gonna be all right. And the gonna be, yeah, hold on. And the gonna be has been written. Everything is gonna be all right. They didn't see this coming. They didn't see this. They didn't see it coming. Tuchel's toothless troops fail to... Wow, these... the lions have been tamed. The 3 lions have been tamed by the 33 lions here all the way from the motherland of Ghana. Wow. Don't let them get away with... 3 lions held to frustrating draw. Whew. Zlatan spoke, and I watched Zlatan speak, and he mentioned it that he said from jump that the toughest group was going to be Group L because it's got giants there, Croatia, England, and then Ghana, who were a bit of underdogs before we started, and then Panama as well. And clearly what he said has come to pass.
Why the English press are really disappointed is because they've played 23 World Cup games and all of them have been a draw. 23 games at the World Cup have been a draw. 13 of them have been goalless.
Wow.
And that's the most a country would accumulate when it comes to the draws at the World Cup. 23 draws game played by England, 13 have been goalless. So they are frustrated because they expected, one of the things that worry them a lot is that they splutter in their second games at the World Cup. And that's the worry because in the European Championship, they were held by Scotland and that of Denmark. And so walking into this World Cup against Ghana in the second game again, they were not expected to splutter again at this stage. And so that draw, it hurts them most than anything else because they're expecting to have 100% performance at Group L, but that is not the answer for them. And to be held by Ghana, again, is frustrating. You know the funny thing about them? They just got a new prime minister, perhaps. And so that, again, is also another worry because nothing is working.
Because Keir Starmer just resigned.
Nothing is working.
Nothing is working.
So
even their football is not working.
That's the problem. So if the government, things are not working well, football is supposed to give us a bit of excitement.
And that's not working either.
So nothing is working. So I understand the headlines over there. It tells the frustration they are in currently. And so what they need to do now is that to channel all that energy into Panama again. But there's one thing you and I need to appreciate. The sort of support the Ghanaians gave the Black Stars in Boston. I was thinking we were probably playing a game in Ghana because you saw almost everybody you knew at the stadium watching the game. And I felt that the Ghanaians really went to Boston to support the team. I'm pretty excited about the supporters.
Two questions before you go. So that's Jude Bellingham right there. And I want to talk about Jude Bellingham for a second. When he was giving man of the match, he said it honestly that he doesn't think that he deserves it and it should have gone to someone on the Ghana side. Would you say that he was honest about this?
Very. I think that he himself, he felt he didn't get his A game. He was frustrated.
So how is it telling on FIFA if the person who even received man of the match says that I don't think that I deserve it?
I want to understand why the technical committee, there's a group called the technical committee. They go into these and decide. And one of them is former coach of the Black Stars, Otuado. So they sit and look at the game. They look at the stats available, and Opta also helps them with the statistics. So I don't know what really went into the game. But again, it tells you that sometimes they get it wrong. Because if the person receiving it says, listen, I don't deserve this award, it tells you that we need to be honest with some of the decisions to take there. And then for Ghana, if you ask me, yes, Senaya played well. Jonas Ajeti was equally there. A lot of players from Ghana, gave 100% in the game. And I felt that one of them should have been given the award.
It should have been. Do you think that if we were awarded that penalty, it would have changed the statistics as at this morning?
It would have changed a lot. It would have changed a lot. And Wayne Rooney said it, that should have been a penalty.
It should have been.
And so the honesty with which some of the English ex-footballers are speaking about this matter, for me, I'm excited about it. If Rooney is publicly saying that Ghana should have been awarded a penalty, it clearly tells you that they felt the team didn't play anything.
Benjamin Willie Graham, let's close with this one. So on Saturday, Croatia is going to desperately come against Ghana. It's going to be a cracker. Are there any lineup changes, technically, you would want to see?
I don't know about Jordan's injury concerns, if he's okay. I mean, the coach obviously is going to start him. I don't think the coach is going to change anything much in the team. He's got his organization right in terms of defense. He's got the midfield also working. He's got the attacking options also there. I think against Croatia, what I've realized is that they still play Modric, very deep in the game, and really is affecting their organization and transition. If we can unleash our, speedsters in the game, we're definitely going to hurt Croatia because Panama did that yesterday.
Right.
You got a couple of balls in the 18-yard box that they could have buried, but they failed to do that.
Right.
So if we can have Ishakus and the rest, run riots at the defense of Croatia,
Right.
I think we can win that game.
Benjamin Willie Graham, thank you. Let's have a conversation after the Ghana-Croatia game. Tell me, what Saturday I want to be out.
GTA is doing it at Legon.
So we should go to Legon and watch it.
That's where
okay, so we'll watch it on Saturday with you on Saturday.
Yesterday I watched it at UPSC.
Okay, so I will be with you on Saturday, and then we'll be. Oh no, we will not have New Day the next day, but yeah, I'll find a way to still add my voice to the commentary. So many messages on social media. Unfortunately, we'll not be able to read them, but thank you so much for sending in loads and loads and loads of messages. Let's keep the conversation going. The hashtag is TV3 Newday. Abubila says, good morning, Cookie. Yesterday's match was one of a kind in history. England had the hardest playtime ever. Despite we didn't create chances, there's hope. There's hope in the Black Stars, and nothing will stop us. Too many messages. Unfortunately, I won't be able to read them, but let's keep rallying behind the Black Stars and let's see what happens with the Croatia Ghana match. But it must be a win or a draw.
Yeah, a draw for Ghana sails us through, but I think the Black Stars should go for a win.
Benji, thank you very much. Now remember to pack up your day the Milky Way with a rich, smooth taste of Peck Milk Shortcake. It is pure delight, available everywhere. Congratulations one more time to the Ghana Black Stars for doing it. Hopefully we'll do it again on Saturday. Ayeye, 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 ayeye. We'll be right back.